Ragnar Lothbrok is a legendary figure in Norse history and mythology. Although the exact details of his life are often blurred with myth and legend, there are several interesting stories associated with him. Here are a few notable tales about Ragnar Lothbrok. The death of the snake in the eye. According to the sagas, Ragnar had a son named Sigurd Snake in the Eye. When Sigurd was born, he had a snake-shaped mark in his eye, which was seen as an omen of greatness. One day, when Sigurd was still young, a venomous snake entered their house. While everyone panicked, Sigurd fearlessly grabbed the snake and killed it with his bare hands. This event further solidified the belief that Sigurd was destined for greatness, just like his father Ragnar. The sacking of Paris. One of the most famous exploits attributed to Ragnar Lothbrok is the raid on Paris. According to legend, Ragnar assembled a massive fleet and sailed up the Seine River to attack the prosperous city of Paris. The city's defenses were no match for the Viking forces, and they successfully plundered the city, acquiring a considerable amount of wealth. This raid on Paris brought Ragnar and the Vikings significant fame and riches. The Blood Eagle execution. One of the most gruesome tales associated with Ragnar Lothbrok is the execution of King Ælla of Northumbria. According to the sagas, Ragnar was captured by Ælla, who threw him into a snake pit. As revenge, Ragnar's sons organized a brutal execution for Ælla known as the Blood Eagle. They cut open Ælla's back, broke his ribs, and pulled his lungs out to resemble the shape of an eagle. This execution method was intended to be both torturous and symbolic of the Vikings' brutality. The Pit of Snakes. Another legendary story about Ragnar Lothbrok involves his capture by the Northumbrians. According to the sagas, Ragnar was taken captive and thrown into a pit filled with venomous snakes. Despite being surrounded by deadly creatures, Ragnar allegedly survived by reciting poems and songs that mesmerized the snakes, preventing them from attacking him. This story showcases Ragnar's cunning and intelligence, even in dire situations. The saga of Ragnar's death. The exact details of Ragnar Lothbrok's death vary in different sources. One account suggests that Ragnar was captured by King Ælla of Northumbria and thrown into a snake pit, where he met his end. Another version claims that he was shipwrecked on the coast of Northumbria and subsequently captured by Ælla. Regardless of the circumstances, Ragnar's death marked the end of an era and ignited a fierce revenge quest by his sons, known as the Great Heathen Army, seeking to avenge their father's death. The discovery of England. Ragnar is often credited with being one of the first Norsemen to discover and explore England. According to the sagas, he sailed westward from Scandinavia and made several successful raids along the coasts of England. His expeditions paved the way for future Viking invasions and settlements in the region. The Siege of Paris. While the raid on Paris is often highlighted, Ragnar's encounters with the city did not end there. According to some accounts, Ragnar returned to Paris once again, this time facing a formidable defense led by the Frankish king, Charles the Bald. The siege lasted for months, with the Vikings eventually being bought off with a hefty ransom paid by the Franks. This event further solidified Ragnar's reputation as a fearsome Viking warrior. The quest for Valhalla. According to legend, before his death, Ragnar was determined to meet his fate in Valhalla, the mythical Hall of the Slain in Norse mythology. Ragnar orchestrated his own death by telling his captors that he was unafraid and eager to face his demise. He purportedly uttered a chilling verse before being thrown into the snake pit or facing execution, expressing his anticipation of joining the gods in Valhalla. The legacy of the Great Heathen Army. Ragnar's death was avenged by his sons, who organized and led the Great Heathen Army. Led by notable figures such as Ivar the Boneless, Bjorn Ironside, and Ub, the army invaded England and sought vengeance against King Ælla and other Anglo-Saxon rulers. Their campaigns were ruthless and relentless, leaving a lasting impact on the history of England and solidifying the Viking presence in the region. Ragnar in Norse mythology. While there is debate regarding Ragnar Lothbrok's historical existence, his character is deeply intertwined with Norse mythology. In some accounts, he is depicted as a semi-legendary figure, with tales of his exploits blending with mythological elements. This conflation of history and mythology has contributed to the enduring fascination and mystery surrounding Ragnar Lothbrok. It's important to note that the stories and legends surrounding Ragnar Lothbrok often blend historical events with mythological elements, making it challenging to distinguish fact from fiction. Nevertheless, these tales have had a significant impact on Norse folklore and continue to captivate audiences to this day.